Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rounding the Bases podcast. I'm Coach Tom Coons, along with Coach Chad Porter and Coach Zach Cart. Uh, Been a great week. Weather's broken a little bit here in the South. It's been beautiful. Recruiting is picking up a little bit. How about you guys? How's the weather up north in the mid? Well, not you aren't really north, are you? Yeah, I mean considered.
Not really. We're below the Mason-Dixon line, as we like.
There you go. That's it.
We are technically in the geographical southeastern United States. All right. I don't know how southeastern it is, but you know, we're close to Kentucky, and I guess North Carolina to a certain extent. So
Yeah, sounds south to me.
yeah, we're more south than
There you
anything.
go. Well, what I thought we talked about, I actually had talked to a couple college baseball coaches, a couple softball coaches as well, to get their handle on recruiting. And I asked the questions like, how do kids get noticed by college coaches? And I said, asked the one coach, I said, what do you look for? And they said, well, all of our pitchers are 6'2" or taller. That's what they look for. That's what they look for. So my follow-up question would be, if you're 5'10", do you recruit this kid? And there wasn't a yes, there wasn't a no, but you got to almost have that handle when you're going in there of what these schools are looking for. Are they looking for bigger players? Are they looking for strong players? Are they looking for the pitchers over 6'4", the corner infielder, a lefty first baseman? I've seen great right-handed first baseman. Are you looking only primarily a lefty first baseman? Things like that. What's your take on that, guys? Do you recruit the best athlete, or do you have a size frame in mind that we can let our viewers know that maybe that's a fair question to ask?
Listen, it's a philosophical thing, right? Listen, I'll take a 4'8", 18-year-old that can help us win baseball games, and I could care less. You
Right.
can either play. Listen, you can either play or you can't. That's kind of how I look for it. And I've never been anywhere as a college coach where I could be that picky. Now, here's how I look at it from a player development standpoint. You got a kid for 4 or 5 years, right? You're not looking at a prospect over the course that that you're going to be under control of for however long, right? So for me, you can't tell me that someone's not going to sign a guy that's 5'9", throwing 92, 93 with late movement, right? And it comes out fast. I mean,
but they're out there. That's the thing. There's coaches out there who just have that physique in mind.
Yeah, and I get it. Big guys that throw hard, I get it. 100% get it. And that's and I'm not saying that's wrong by any stretch, but
Right.
I'm gonna listen. I love, as a college coach, I love guys that had funk. I love guys that hid the baseball. I love guys that maybe had one tool, maybe our so-called donkeys at the plate, low bat speed, running a fastball. Fine, but at the end of the day, this former college coach is looking for somebody that can help the program win baseball games.
Be an impact for your program, right?
And baseball's a game that are today's baseball players big? Yeah, absolutely, right? Is there something to be said about size and how that transitions into things? Of course, but I'm going to take the guy that can help us win baseball games regardless.
See, and I thought the size thing personally was more for the level after college. there's major league teams that don't, the New York Yankees back in the day, Roger Clemens at 6'4", Andy Pettit at 6'5", blah, blah, blah. Mariano Rivera was the wild card there. But all their pitchers were tall, strong guys. That's a different scenario where you're paying for a different physique. But, I think the bigger question here, if I was looking for a school, I'd look at their roster and say, where are most of their players from? That would be a big question for me. I'm sitting up here in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, and they're recruiting all players from the West Coast. Where would I fit in there? And the bigger question than that is, does that school have the degree I even want to study? Or think I might want to study.
You brought up a really good point there, because there's a difference in baseball. Baseball's baseball, of course, but the game is played a little bit different wherever you go. Like, for example, Cali baseball. I mean, pressure baseball. Those guys are dragging, they're stealing. You go watch some of that stuff. I'd get these California JUCO guys, and they're like, "You think you're aggressive? You should come out and watch, this." So there's that old school Augie Garrido when he was at Cal State Fullerton, that type of stuff, all that good stuff, right? In Texas, when I coached in Texas, I thought there were tons of arms. There were arms. Being in South Texas, go down guys in the valley, in the Rio Grande Valley, dudes just could throw hard. Guys that could, pitchers, arms, velo, good looking kids. So I could go on and on and on about, the different players in the different regions. And then if you get into foreign countries, or not even foreign countries, U.S. territories like Puerto Rico,
Right.
How, you would have, maybe just a little bit of a different spin on training, and, the different, just depends, right? And in a lot of these areas, sometimes that fits the personality of a coach, and a coach develops a pipeline, and that pipeline goes along the lines with the coach's philosophy. You think about it, right? A lot of high-end coaches are recruiting JUCOs, transfers, whatever, from programs that have really good pitching staffs, from really good pitching coaches, right? I see it all the time. So anyway, what's your flavor as a coach? What do you believe in?
I'd want to unpeel that a little bit more, Tom, and understand, why they think 6'2" is the magical number, right? I mean, we just saw Gage Wood get drafted in the first round. Guys like 6 foot, throws consistent 95 all the way into the 8th, 9th frame of the game. I have a hard to believe if he's on your doorstep, you're not going to say yes.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right?
Take that best athlete that you can find out there.
Yeah.
That could be a game changer for you.
There's never that goes back to there's no always or nevers in this game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no always or nevers in this game, right? And
Right,
I think
right.
everybody will, will pivot to get a good kid. You got to realize those big guys, and I'll tell you, so whoever's coach is, I get it. I totally get it. Because when you're on.
Oh, we lost him.
I think he got it.
Am I back?
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
You there, Coach? I think he lost his audio. But my second question, I actually had a softball coach and a baseball coach with this one. Showcases, camps, clinics. It was one of those things, show up early, not on time. If you're on time, you're late. They like to see the players sign themselves in not have their parents do it for them while they're over in the dugout.
Okay.
I had another coach tell me, if you're coming to this showcase, put your stuff on in the parking lot, and when you come down to that field, you're ready to go. You got your turfs on, your pants are on, you're not in shorts and sandals, and you're just walking around being full uniform, ready to go. First impressions.
Tom, I've got a great story on that one. A great story. And so I had a player out of West Virginia, probably, I want to say 6 or 7 years ago. And we were down at North Carolina Wesleyan playing. And coach was sitting up in the press box, and he watched one of our guys get out of his car, and he was fully dressed, cleats on, ready to go, shirt tucked in. From the time he gets out of the car, walks into the dugout, ready to go. After the game, coach finds me and he's like, "Hey, who's that kid? Who's that one? I like that guy because he's ready and he handles his business."
That's exactly what they said. Not the one guy actually went as far to say, or might have been the softball coach, 95% of what they think about a player is done before they are on the field.
Yep.
Because they get a list and they have an idea who they want to see already.
Yeah.
Now they want to see the intangibles. And that's coach, you lost your technical difficulty talking about showcases and workouts, showing up early, not on time, because on time is late. Sign yourself in. Don't have your parents do it. Be dressed in the parking lot. Walk down to that field ready to go. Because first impressions, no shorts, no flip flops, none of that stuff. And like we were just saying, a lot of impression is made, probably the majority of the impression is made just there. Because if they didn't think you could play, they wouldn't be there.
Yeah, you got to find a way to separate yourself, and those are all good things to separate yourself. But how is that guy going to remember your name and not your number? Because you're just another guy, even if you're there. So I had a friend, Eric Zambanini, who was one of my assistant coaches at Texas A&M International. He's now as a high school coach in South Texas. And it was, and I forget, it's been a decade since he told me the story. It was either him or another kid. They were at a tryout. They were getting ready to run the 60. And, the scout yells the number, 138, for example. "What's your name?" And the kid looks up and he was like, "Barry Bonds." And the scout laughed. Guess what? The scout remembered who that person was the rest of the day. Yep. And the scout he remembered. Why? Because you got to do something that's going to associate yourself with the vision. Very few people, right, that we talk to have had to go to a showcase with 300 kids and pick out who you like.
Right.
Yeah.
And whittle it down to guys you not only do I like this guy, okay, can I get this guy? It's blah, 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 blah. Something about kids, like something about guys has to stick out in your mind. You got to find a way to impression. So, like, for example, back when Major League Baseball had all these open tryouts, I go to an open tryout. Guys are just gets released by the Orioles. Okay, we're getting ready to throw. And he's big. He's a big right field corner guy. And he was like, "Watch this. I'm going to throw this ball over the backstop." And we're all like, "Well, he's just set." He's like, "You know why? Because he's going to remember me. Then I'm going to one-hop the catcher 3 times." And he did. And that scout walked right out and goes, "What's your name?" "Such and such. I just got released by Baltimore." You got to do something that's going to catch their eye. Because hey, listen. We all the stuff that we're talking about right now is stuff that a kid should do.
Correct.
The way I look at it is, it's all stuff that a kid that wants to play at a next level should do. So that's good. That's the sixth tool. What's inside? At the end of the day, though, kids still got to be able to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know why? Cal Bailey told me, Chad, you can get Cal Bailey won over 1,000 games at West Virginia State. And he looked at me and he says, Chadwick, you can get a mule and you can train the mule. And you can train him and you can train him and you can train him. And you take that mule to the Kentucky Derby. And when that mule takes off, Chadwick, what is he? The mule. So my point is this. You take care of business. And by the way, Cal Bailey told me a story before he got drafted by the Pirates. He chucked the baseball from third base out of the ballpark. And I could be mixing stories, but he chucked that puppy out of the ballpark. They saw arm strength. They remembered him. He gets drafted. So here's my point. All that stuff is great. You do it right, blah, 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 blah. It's a separator. It's a separator between two. Listen, it's a separator between two good kids of close talent. It's not a separator between a highly talented kid and a low talented kid. Now, that kid does all the things right and he's a low talented kid. That could be a kid that is a walk-on. You reward him. That's the type of kid I want in my program. Great. If you get two guys of two, and I always looked at it this way, if I've got two guys and I'm offering both of them and they're both really close in talent, and maybe I don't even know which one I really, really want. Look at all that stuff and that makes your decision. Because the other guy, most likely, if he doesn't take care of his business, is going to be a problem at some point.
Correct.
Why? Because he's either going to be a problem because he's immature and he causes you problems because he'll show up late, he'll do this, he'll do this. He'll come back to bite you because of, getting in trouble, or you're going to have to spend time teaching him how to do things right that wastes the time of the things that you need to be teaching. So I look at that in a lot of different ways, right? And yeah, are there situations I've been in and I'm like, and not very many coaches can be in this situation. Clemson can, Kentucky can, LSU can. Whatever small university with 1,200 students trying to compete in the Lone Star can't.
Mm-hmm.
Fact. So you have to be really calculated with this stuff, right? Because there's not, LSU's got 25 other right fielders that throw 90 plus from the outfield who are all on somebody's draft board that run 6'3", 460s and can also go play, power 4 football, right? Guess what? I was never in that situation. Not even close. We're going after one kid and going, geez, Louise, we're putting all our eggs in one basket, blah, 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 blah. So you better make sure all those boxes are checked, right? But if we're going to, I think there's a reality there in recruiting, and kids should know it, that stuff takes you far. You've still got to be able to play and contribute.
Right.
Now, if you're a fringe guy and you have that desire, that might put you over the hump. Right? You still got to be a good ball player.
Right.
I'm going to take it the step prior, and Zach, you'll run into this because you've got a son who's a pretty good player going to be in this situation. You get excited being followed on Twitter or receiving email from coaches or mail from coaches. And that is fantastic if you can get that. But you need to decipher between interest and intent.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big difference there. Coaches follow hundreds of kids. They follow hundreds of kids. They'll send out bunches of letters to people. You know, if you receive a letter or you get followed on Twitter, that's great. That opens, you know, the door. But that doesn't mean you have a seat at the table. Contact versus conversation is the next step. Yeah, they've contacted you. They sent that letter. But have they had that conversation? Have you got that personalized email? Have you got that phone call? Have you been to campus and talked to them? And I think that is a big thing. And that's how a business like ours helps these kids, these athletes, decipher that stuff. I know when I was a coach, I'd send out hundreds of letters, hoping to get whatever. You know, are recruiting 5 guys at the same position. Well, we are. You're all pretty even. We've heard this. We'll take the first one that wants to commit to us. Are you that kid? See, you got the door open. Do you get the seat at the table now? Any thoughts on that? Go ahead, Zach. You're going to be in this situation.
Yeah, well, and so my question to both of you would be, hey, what's more valuable? An email conversation, because you know that you're engaging directly with that student athlete, or a showcase? Because I think a lot of folks are trying to make that decision right now. Hey, do I engage with the coach via email and say, hey, coach, this is going to be my summer schedule. I'm going to be at X, Y, and Z. Let's try to link up sometime, create that engagement. Or do you try to do the showcase? The showcases are just becoming egregiously expensive, and you don't know what you're going to get. I mean, Coach, I think some of our packages are cheaper than some of the showcases.
Oh,
So
yes,
definitely. So here's the
Right?
thing. Here's the thing. And kids don't realize this. Like, college coaches get inundated with emails. Like, guys, like crazy amounts of emails. Unless they know what they're looking for, I'm telling you right now, most of the time you're not going to get a response. I'm just telling you, right? That's why you got to have somebody help you. I think it all gets real when you get a text or a phone call these days.
Yes.
Listen, if I'm a college coach and I got a cell phone and I want a kid, you think I'm going to waste my time emailing them? No shot. I'm going to text them and call them over and over and over, especially with the way the rules are, right? Now, there are a few situations where people email and blah, 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 blah. But I'm telling you right now, unless a coach has a little bit of time and there's a video clip of the kid doing something and you watch it and you're like, you know what? I kind of like that kid. I'm going. Or I've seen him somewhere else. I'm going. I'm just telling you. It's hard. Or they send it to an assistant coach. They send it right to an assistant coach, a
Right.
GA, whoever, your recruiting court, whatever, right? So I don't think I think showcases are important. I don't think any showcase is bad because you never know. You never know who's going to be there. Now, are some better than others? Of course. Absolutely. But like, you got to have somebody, like if you're a fringe kid, if you're a kid that's not garnering tons of interest, and even at that, we can guide you. But if you're a kid that needs help getting in touch with coaches, like We have these coaches' numbers on our cell phones, personal relationships with them. Like, I'm going to call, hey, look, man, blah, blah, blah.
We've done that. We've had a couple players
Exactly.
we called and
So,
put them on the
right.
radar.
Right. So, like, then you cut out the middleman, right? And for our prices, like, you literally can't beat it. Like, I'm just telling you, like, there's a reality in recruiting, and there's more better kids now than ever.
Right.
Than ever. And if you think you're going to get in touch with an NCAA coach with the portal the way it is, and you're going to get a reply, you might. I mean, 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. I'm just telling you, 1 out of 10, because you're so inundated. You're inundated with information. So like we have as players and, player development, all this stuff at your fingertips as a player development person. Well, I can check velo and exit velo and this and this and this and whatever data, blah, blah, blah. College coaches are the same. And now they have a free service called the transfer portal. Free. Unlimited names.
That's right.
So what's going to set yourself apart? You need to have somebody that's been there, listen, here's what you're going to get from us. I've driven 3 hours, jumped the fence, and watched a kid throw a bullpen, turned around and drove home. I've driven and saw this kid play. Right? You got an idea what the process is like. And you need somebody like that that's going to advocate for you, tell you the truth. Look, you're a Division III player, and you can have a great career at a great level of baseball. Not, let's oversell, let's get you to a D2, and you never, ever play. Right? We like to send kids. We help you find a place where you fit, where you're going to get your education, and you're going to play, have an opportunity to play, right?
Have a great career.
And have a great career with coaches that care about you, instead of going like, no. You're not going to Angelo State. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like you gotta be, you've got to, you need to be around people that are going to be honest with you. And in this game, it's like, there's like Jamie Keefe, the longtime Frontier League manager of the Chillicothe Paints. And like 2002, I tried out for the Chillicothe Paints. And Jamie Keefe stood in front of every single person who tried out and said, you know what? I made it to AAA. I was lied to a lot in this game. I'm going to be honest with you. Guess what? With all these players, all of these options, you need someone that's going to be honest with you and guide you. Right. That's what kids need. Right? That's what kids need.
I agree.
And we can help you with that.
Big time. Like I say, we have helped players already call schools and actually guided them to a couple schools. And it's worked out very well. They're having great careers.
Having contact with the head coach, somebody that has a relationship with the head coach, or at least someone that has a track record in player evaluation and stuff like that, is a big deal.
Right.
Like I'm not going to just, as a college coaches are not running, they're not running like when school start, it's not camp.
Right.
You understand? So it's just like, and I want kids to go to coaches who are picky. You know why? Because I realize those guys really want to be good. They really want to be good. They want the right type of kid. So,
Zach, give us
Oh,
your wit and wisdom.
I agree 100% from coach's standpoint there. I think that when it comes down to a lot of the showcases, you have to be selective. I think that they're a dime a dozen anymore, and
You can
it's
go
really
broke.
important to what's that?
I said you can go broke going to all of them.
Yes, and it's really important to pick the ones that are going to be valuable for you. I've had a couple conversations with a handful of different players just about what's going to work for them, and I think that that's an important part of the process, but you have to be strategic about how you go about it. I've seen a lot of very unqualified individuals hosting showcases and making promises that unfortunately they can't deliver on. It's really important to have individuals like the three of us that can advise and help navigate those situations, because Coach Porter's right. I mean, there's a lot of the showcases out that are very valuable. You just have.
Well, he had technical difficulty, but he made a good point. There are some good ones and there are some not so good ones. So
yeah,
I think that's what we got to be totally aware of here. I think Zach has got it straightened out. There he is.
Wow. All right, so where I left off, basically, it's important for us to help navigate as things go forward and get individuals in the right showcases and in the right place at the right time.
See, and I think, and Chad, you said it, for the price that we are, cheaper than a showcase, we do more for you in the long run that'll get you there. With the coaches' contacts, baseball, softball, what to do, how to write your emails, what to say on the phone calls, the whole deal. I mean, it's been tremendous success for us so far. And I'm not saying tremendous success for us monetarily. I'm saying because our goal is tremendous success in helping athletes achieve their goals.
Yeah,
that's where we come from, and that's what we want to do. But any closing thoughts? See, I got us all long-winded here for God's sakes tonight. But anything to leave us with, Chad?
just keep working. Reach out. Let us help you. Let us, help you navigate through this. And yeah, I mean that's the big thing.
All right, Zach.
No, I agree with Coach. The first step is reaching out, right? And sometimes that can be a little bit scary, but at the end of the day, it needs to be the best step.
It doesn't cost you any money to email us or pick up the phone and call us.
Right.
And I think that's the big thing, until you talk to us and we talk to you and literally evaluate you and let you know where you're starting at. People are, let's face it, people are skeptical of these things sometimes. But until you make that jump, it doesn't cost you a penny to dial the numbers or send an email. We will help you decipher between intent and interest and contact and conversation and in the little things and help you make that rapport with that coach. So very good. Aheadinaccountrecruiting.com. Check us out. Go to our website. We will have our emails there. You can click on the questionnaire and we will email you back and try to help you out. Until next week, thanks for tuning in. Have a good night.